All right, so you're thinking of moving to Fort Worth, Texas, but you're not quite sure where to start or what there is to do in Fort Worth or where you want to live or where things are, what's fun and what's not fun. Well, I want you to stick around for this video because in this one, I am going to show you everything there is to know about Fort Worth, Texas, all the good things to do, where you're going to want to live, the location to the airport, where Arlington is, and all the surrounding suburbs. That way you have a really good idea of what it looks like living in Fort Worth, Texas. So make sure that you stick around to the very end and we're going to be getting after it right now. Alright, so if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Fort Worth, Texas, then make sure you click that subscribe button and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current status and market here in Fort Worth, Texas. You know, my name is Travis and my business partner Levi and we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you and you every single day looking to make their move to Fort Worth, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, make sure that you give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we are happy to help you make a smooth move to Fort Worth, Texas. So just like I promised, you know, in this video, we are going to jump into my computer here in just a second. I'm going to show you everything there is about Fort Worth, all the things that you're going to need to know if you're looking to make your move out this way. We're going to actually hop into my computer and we're going to go and I'm going to pull up Google Maps. So you're going to actually be able to see really truly where these locations are, from all the fun things to do, you know, where the certain cities are and how close you are in relationship to the airport. So let's go ahead and jump into my computer and I'll see you there. All right, y'all, so here we are. This is Fort Worth, Texas. And, you know, this is a place where I've been born and raised. I've grown up here my whole life. So, you know, Fort Worth is a really beautiful city. It has so many fun things, cool things, and really like niched out things to do in Fort Worth. Like Fort Worth is just one of those cities where you're getting that good country vibe, but you're not so far away from the big city. Because even though some people may think that Fort Worth is, you know, a smaller city, Fort Worth is a huge city and there's so much to do. And so one of the things that we get questions about is when people are looking to move to Fort Worth, Texas, they're like, hey, Travis, you know, what does it look like to drive from Fort Worth, Texas to Dallas, which is over here, right? Or Fort Worth, Texas over here to the DFW airport. And, you know, if you're right here in the center, you could literally take 121 up to 183 and you can get right here to the DFW airport, which is Dallas Fort Worth's biggest airport. You can get there in about 25 to 30 minutes, just depending on how your traffic looks, but it's a very, very quick drive. And then of course, if you're out here a little bit further, you know, on the outskirts, you know, this is where I stay at. I live right here in Euless. So, you know, for DFW airport's just right there. So from here to there, about 25 to 30 minutes. So make sure that you take account for that. And then if you're going to be going into Dallas, right? If you're going to be going into Dallas, you're going to take right here. You can take obviously 183 into Dallas this way, but you're most likely you're going to want to take, you know, this straight shot all the way into Dallas, just like here. Okay. And then Dallas is just right here on the other side of that map. And that's about a 30 to 35 minute drive. So if you are living in Fort Worth, of course, if you're over here more alongside the west side of Fort Worth, then you're going to want to make sure that you take into account, you know, that traffic that you may be hitting right here in downtown Fort Worth. And then, you know, you need to probably add on, depending on if you're living over here at Lakeside or Benbrook, maybe add on like another 10 or 15 minutes, right? But, you know, that's about what your drive time is going to look like if you're going to be living in Fort Worth, especially more downtown. That's what that's going to look like. And then, you know, with the cool thing about Fort Worth is there's really so much to do here, you know, with my favorite place being the stockyards. So like, as you can see right here, I'll kind of click in. All right, so we'll get this moved off the screen right here. And one of my favorite places is going to be Fort Worth Stockyards. So when you come scroll right into here, this is the main city, okay? This is your downtown of Fort Worth, but right here is the Stockyards. And this is one of my absolute favorite places of all time. You know, yes, maybe I am a little bit of a country boy, but you know, I'm not that much of a country boy. So that's why Fort Worth makes perfect sense, because you get a little bit of that country lifestyle. And then of course you get a little bit of that city boy lifestyle as well. So you really can't lose. You know, one of my favorite things about Fort Worth is the Stockyards. And I'll zoom in a little bit more actually, so that way you can see. Me and my partner Levi, we actually just ate here the other day. This is a place called Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, and it's honestly, it's amazing. It's definitely one of those spots if you're going to be living and or visiting Fort Worth, Texas, that you're really going to want to check out. And then you have the stockyards that are right here. And then my favorite place of all time, and I know I've mentioned this before, is Billy Bob's Texas. Okay, this is the world's largest country dance hall, and they have some really, really good shows. People like Garth Brooks have performed there. People like Reba McEntire have performed there. And another really cool things about Billy Bob Texas is that they host a lot of like Texas country music artists. You know, some of those artists used to start off really small time, started playing at Billy Bob's, and then really blew up and went big time. So it's a really good place for you to go and get in, watch some really, really good music, maybe even meet some up and coming country music stars. But if you like dancing and you like country music, this is definitely going to be one of those places that you got to check out. It's just an awesome, awesome place. And then of course they have a huge dance floor, and they have a huge area just kind of off to the side where they have all their concerts. And another cool thing is like if you like PBR, which is professional bull riding, they even have a professional bull riding arena inside of Billy Bob. So, you know, you get to dance, you get to watch people riding bulls. I mean, you really get that full country experience, and you're like kind of right there in the big city of Fort Worth. And so this is one of my absolute favorite places. So when you go here, make sure that you check that out. And then, you know, they have the stockyards, right? So the stockyards is going to be right across from Billy Bob's Texas, right there in the center. And that is one of the coolest places because it's a really, like when you're driving through, you get to drive through like old school brick roads. You get to drive through like an old school feeling town, which, I mean, it is old school, it's Fort Worth, Texas, but you get to be driving through there, and they have all this really cool, you know, shopping and mom and pop shops. And then they have the bars. They have like the nightlife in Fort Worth, you know, whether you're single and ready to go out on a town and have a really good time, or you have a family, like this is one of those places that has an excellent, you know, nightlife. Obviously, you know, if you're wanting to stay out super, super late, then you'll want to stay in the area because they have so many cool bars and so much cool stuff to do. I mean, I could tell y'all stories about, you know, my times over there, you know, in the stockyards, but, you know, I'll save that for another video. But you got to check it out. And if you go during the day and you have a family, make sure that you go and check it all out because, I mean, it's really an experience unlike you've ever had before. You can walk over there. You can ride horses. Like you can actually legitimately go to the stockyards and ride horses around Fort Worth. It's pretty cool. So if you have, you know, if you're the age limit there is 8 and up. So if you have, you know, 8-year-old kids, anything 8 and older, they can actually hop on there, get trained up real quick, and you and your family can take a tour all the way through and around Fort Worth and the stockyards on saddle, right? So it's a really great experience. Now, if you're not necessarily up for riding a horse, I totally understand that. It's not for everybody. You can ride on some longhorns, right? And they're not like crazy longhorns that are just driving around or I guess running around. They're actually like, they have like trainers, they have them tied up, and like the kids can go and they can actually sit on top of these really cool longhorns. I mean, I'm talking like their longhorns are like sometimes 4 or 5 feet in distance. Like it's just a really cool experience. You can ride horse carriages down there. They have white, tall, huge white horses that are with their white carriages, and you can, you know, take those during the day or take those during the night if you want like a good experience, or take someone out on a date. You know, it'd be a really cool experience for them. And then of course, make sure that you stop by all the shopping. You got to go, you got to shop. They have a Lucchese store. So if you want some good boots, make sure that you check out Lucchese. Okay. So that's the stockyards, right? And then of course they have the cultural district. And I'll pull up that cultural district. The cultural district is home to like major museums, including some of the striking like modern art museums of Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Museum of Science. You know, the Fort Worth Museum of Science is a place that you got to take your kids, right? Or if you don't have kids, you got to go check it out too. I remember when I was growing up, I was just like obsessed with science. I was obsessed with the dinosaurs, you know, which most kids probably really are, right? So, you know, the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History is something that you really got to check out. Now, the cultural district is going to be down this way. So, you have the stockyards that's right here. And then you have the South Side Historic District. And let me zoom out just a little bit more. And then you can say right here, here's the Cultural District in Fort Worth. I'll pull this right up on the map. Okay. So this is what you're going to be looking at right here on the Cultural District. And like I said, there is so much stuff to do right here. You have the Modern Art Museum, as you can tell just by the picture right there. I mean, there's so much stuff to do. They have some really, really cool art, and it's year round. So you can stop by there. You can check out the Kimball Art Museum as well. And you can take a look here. It's just got some really cool stuff and some really, really deep history scattered out through some of these different types of museums. Now, if you've never been to the Botanical Research Institute, you got to check out the Botanical Gardens. Okay, this Fort Worth Botanical Garden it's really honestly just one of the most peaceful, beautiful places that you'll see. And you can go and get some really, really good pictures taken in here, right? So if you go here to the Botanical Garden, this is a perfect opportunity for a photo op. So whether you want to go out there and do something for prom, or you have family, or you just want to go out and just get some really, really cool pictures, you're going to want to make sure that you check out the Fort Worth Botanic Garden. Okay. And this is all what they consider, again, the cultural district. They have the Trinity Park Duck Pond. This place it's serene. You can literally come over here. You can take your dogs. You can just ride your bike. You can longboard. It's just a really nice place, good environment where you have all these different trails running through here for walking and running and just doing everything that you want. Take your dogs out here. You know what I mean? Let them go out and have a really good time. But this is all kind of part of this cultural district. Another thing that I will make note of is Will Rogers Memorial Center. You have the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame. It's really cool. Like, you got to go check these things out. Like, there's so much to do inside of Fort Worth. Okay. You got to go check this out. I mean, the art in itself is just cool. And then you got Dickies Arena, right? So Dickies Arena, it's a pretty big arena, nothing like what you would see at like AT&T Stadium or, ballpark, Globe Life Park for the Texas Rangers. It's a little bit smaller than that, but it's still a pretty big arena where they have all sorts of country concerts and all sorts of events and sports and all this that goes along with it, right? So this is definitely one of those areas. And they have, of course, right next to the cultural district is Arlington Heights, right? And Arlington Heights is actually one of the most sought after neighborhoods inside of Fort Worth. It's one of the top 5 that are in there. And Arlington Heights is, of course, about 30 minutes. It's just right off of, right here north of I-30. This is a main highway that takes you all the way into Dallas, right? So this is going to be your main transportation right here to Dallas. You're going to be right here if you're looking at moving into Arlington Heights. And Arlington Heights is just super cool. It's super chill. And they have, all sorts of different price range homes, from all the way up into the millions, right? It's a beautiful neighborhood, very, very quiet, peaceful. Some of the neighborhoods are older. And then there are some, areas where you can go and you can build your custom homes if you find a lot. But from here, all the way into Dallas, is about another 30-minute trip. And then, of course, about 25 minutes up here to DFW area. So if you're looking to get after one of the most sought after areas, you're going to want to check out, the Arlington Heights right here. Okay. So it's just southwest of the cultural district, which, of course, the cultural district has just about anything and everything that you could possibly imagine. And then I want to also take you guys to Sundance Square. Okay. This will highlight Sundance Square for us. So Sundance Square is right here in the middle of downtown, okay? So if you want all the shopping and you want all of the nightlife and you like to be able, this is a really pedestrian friendly area. So when you go downtown, and again, this is literally only about 10 minutes away, probably 7 minutes away from the Fort Worth Stockyards. So it's kind of like a triangle almost. You have the Fort Worth Stockyards, then you have the cultural district, and then you have Sundance Square. And Sundance Square, of course, is downtown. So you have the Fort Worth Convention Center, you have the Fort Worth Gardens, and then, of course, in through here, you have all the bars and the streets. And then if you zoom in just a little bit tight, this is where you can go, and they have the Bass Hall, the Bass Performance Hall. And again, all of your shopping is going to be through here. It's going to be through here. And then they have this really open space where they have, people just, running around and playing, and there's art all over the place and there's lights. It's a really, really good vibe. Like, I love it. I love being downtown. I love, that's some of the things that I really love about Fort Worth, because you get that downtown vibe, but it's like 7 minutes away, from a country vibe. So you can have the nightlife of downtown Fort Worth, or you can, hop on your horse or whatever you want and head up to the stockyards. I mean, there's really just so much stuff to do. And that is some of the biggest things of Fort Worth that I really, really love. And then, of course, like I talked about Arlington Heights, you have Rivercrest, right? So Rivercrest is another one of those areas that if you're looking to move to Fort Worth, that you're really going to want to take a look at, okay? Now, in Rivercrest, they do, most is known for the exclusive neighborhoods located in West Fort Worth, right? So you're still close to downtown. Rivercrest, it's technically called, Crestline, okay? It's a really quiet place to live the family life while being to go in and out of the city, okay? So if you got the budget, some of these homes in here can get a little bit up there, but again, nothing crazy. But if this is what you want, this community dates back to 1918. So it features really large homes with high value, and Crestline Road is home to some of the most beautiful homes in the city. And it's just literally situated on a bluff overlooking this river right here. So if you want the views and you want something that just has that old time feel and you like older homes, the Rivercrest or the Crestline area is definitely one of those places that you're going to want to check out. Okay, it's an amazing experience all the way around, and it's just got beautiful, beautiful homes for you to live in if you're looking for that. Okay, and you're going to also find tons of golfers and families with young kids, all surrounded by these wooden areas and walking trails. Okay, so they have all the walking trails, they have golf. This is the perfect place if you're looking to grow a family. I mean, it's one of those cities that you're going to want to check out. And then, of course, I wanted to talk to you about Fairmount, right? So Fairmount, Fort Worth is also another one of those hidden gems. It's kind of near the South Side District. Fairmount is a historical neighborhood in Fort Worth, okay? It kind of borders the north popular Magnolia Avenue. So if you haven't heard of that, you want to make sure to check that out. It has several great spots for coffee and food. It's just an incredible neighborhood. It includes, some of the things that this neighborhood includes is going to be the parks. The elementary school and middle school are a great place for kids. You have Daggett Middle School right here. You have everything is going to be within driving range. So, but this is the Daggett Middle School. You got your parks right here and you right here. And this is just another one of those low key cities. This is one of the top sought after areas. This is called Fairmount. So if you're looking in Fort Worth, make sure that you look up Fairmount, okay? This is one of the largest historical neighborhoods in the Southwest, and it has tons of historic and really, really charming houses that'll just blow your mind, okay? And then the next place is called Westover Hills, okay? Now, Westover Hills, so you can see on the map kind of where that borders right here, okay? So this is another one of those communities that's a little bit further west. From here to Fort Worth, you're looking at maybe a 10-minute drive, depending on traffic, right? If you can hop right down on the 30 and take it straight into Fort Worth, you're not looking at much time at all. But Westover Hills is one of the wealthiest towns in Texas, okay? It's the population, it's only at about 700 people, but the houses are huge, right? So if you want something just like absolutely huge and mind-blowing, Westover Hills is definitely one of the most sought after cities that you can get into. The properties there, they offer elevated landscapes that have views from the east and the west, and most of that land was originally owned by Mr. Carter Homes that built those back in the early 1930s, okay? And again, it's only about a 10-minute drive to the cultural district, so you can easily go down there and check out the museums and the exhibits and just get a good feel for everything. And then another area is Westcliff, okay? Now this is one of my favorite areas, okay, in Fort Worth. So if you notice right here, it's a really small area, right? But you have TCU right here, okay? So TCU, my mother went to TCU. She got a great education, got her master's there. It's a great school, and there are houses surrounding, all around, okay? But with Westcliff, Westcliff is, one of those places it's adjacent neighborhoods, and it features, a little bit more mid-sized homes than anything else, but it's a super, super friendly location that's making it a really hot neighborhood. So if you're looking in Westcliff, these have homes that are ranging from that $200,000 range up into the millions. This neighborhood has easy access to catching a college football game, like you have the TCU Stadium. So one of my favorite places is the TCU Stadium. It's right here. So if you look right here at the stadium, this is TCU, and then you have the stadium here. Well, they have these beautiful homes that are like surrounding the stadium right off over here on the back side of it. And if you have never seen, like, imagine like getting into your house, walking out into the back patio and watching, like, you could literally be watching college football on your computer or on your TV, but literally have the actual lights of the TCU Stadium. Now, that may not be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're a huge football or TCU fan, you'd probably want to live, close to the stadium, but it'd be cool to just be able to listen to those games while you're like drinking a coffee or whatever, drinking a beer right off of your back patio, because these homes, literally, they look right over onto the stadium, like you can actually see the games. So it's just a really cool vibe all the way around. And that's going to be, let's see here. So now I'm going to zoom out a little bit more on Fort Worth. Okay. Now let me get Fort Worth back up here again so that y'all can see exactly, what that line is. Now, so Fort Worth, again, it stretches kind of way up north. Okay. It gets up into here, into Elizabethtown, Roanoke. Roanoke has some really, really good schools. And so here's again where Fort Worth Gardens are. And then, I wanted to talk to you about this. You have to go. So right here by the Cultural District in your downtown, you've got the Fort Worth Zoo. I can't believe I almost didn't mention the Fort Worth Zoo. This is my favorite zoo in the entire world. Okay. I take my daughters here all the time. Last time we went, a few months back, but they actually got to feed the giraffes. It was just a really cool experience. Like, I've been to the Fort Worth Zoo many times before, but I mean, I'd never actually gotten to the point to where the giraffes were like actually coming up, sticking their heads over the fence and letting, like, you can even see it right here in the pictures. Like, this is legitimately, maybe I can throw up a clip or something of, my kids and them feeding the giraffes. But this is like literally the giraffes would like come right up to you. And they have all the animals. I mean, they have the huge gorillas. Last time we went, it must have just been like the perfect day for all the animals. The tiger was out, the lions were out, the gorillas were out, like beating their chest and like just going out, acting crazy, climbing on the ropes. The giraffes were out, the elephants were out. So if like, there's so much culture, inside of Fort Worth, right? There's so much stuff to do, and there's so many different places to live. You can come over here to Worth Heights. And again, depending on what you're looking for and all that stuff, you want to make sure that you reach out to us, because in some of these areas, the schools are really, really good. Some of these areas, the schools, they could use a little bit more work. So the last thing that you want to do is move into the wrong city, find the wrong house that's not in the right zip code, that's not attached to the right school district. So make sure that you reach out to us, so that way we can really get you a good idea of the school districts where we want to get you guys to move. So also, I wanted to touch base a little bit up north. Okay, one of my favorite places to go is the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refugee. This place is a really cool, it's got a really good atmosphere. You can walk around and you can really travel outside and walk around, and it's a 3,000 acre preserve with 20 miles of hiking, right? You got all the trails. You can literally see buffalo, gators, deer, birds, and I'm not joking you literally see little 7-8 foot alligators. Like, I've been there, you actually see them in real life. So, but I mean, it's obviously, it's safe. People can go there, they can visit, enter at your own risk, right? But there are live alligators. And, if you like this and you like being outside and you really like these nature preserves, it's one of those places that, you really, really got to check out. Okay. This is another lake. So we're really big on lakes here in Texas, right? So if you've never come to Texas, or this is your first time coming, we definitely live that lake life. I keep my boat out at Louisville. and that's, you know, a little bit, that's a lot further away from, you know, right here in Fort Worth. But if you like fishing and you like surfing and you like doing all the boat stuff, you know, then Fort Worth has still got plenty of stuff to do. You have White Settlement. This is another really sought after neighborhood. You know, it's a little bit older. It's a population of about 18,000 people. So White Settlement is also a good, decent place for you to look and move. And those price ranges are, you know, anywhere from the 200s to the plus, right? 200,000 plus. But it's a good place to look, you know, if you're trying to live inside of Fort Worth and you don't necessarily want to live right downtown into Fort Worth. And then if you travel a little bit south, again, you have Benbrook Lake. So if you like the fishing and the boating and all that good stuff, you know, you're definitely going to want to check that out. But you know, this pretty much sums up Fort Worth. Okay, now there are going to be some other videos where we do full vlog tours of all the different areas outside of Fort Worth. So we've done vlogs, you know, on Kennedale. We've done vlogs on Arlington, North Richland Hills, Keller, South Lake, Grapevine, Colleyville. Some of these other suburbs, they have a lot of really, really good benefits as well. So make sure, you know, that you check out the full vlog tours on all of that stuff. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video today. And I hope this was really informative. So if you've watched it this far and you liked what you saw, please comment below if you're from Fort Worth. And I missed something, or you'd like to see something put more into this video. I always love the feedback. If you're moving from out of town and you think that maybe I didn't answer some questions, or you'd like to see more or a more detailed breakdown, then just to make sure that you give me a call, shoot me a text. You can leave a comment, send us an email, whatever it is that you want to do, just make sure that you reach out. Thanks again, everyone. Make sure that you click that subscribe button and tap that bell for notifications. And whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we're happy to help you make a smooth move to Fort Worth, Texas.